Hi guys, I'm Nantara Rai reporting for ET Now. The big corporate story of the day, of course, is that big fight between Jeff Bezos and Amazon on one side, Mukesh Ambani and Reliance on the other side, battle lines drawn, all to do with the Future Group. We've seen statements coming out from both Future Retail as well as Reliance saying that the interim ruling of in Singapore about how this 25,000 crore rupees sale should not go through at the moment, should be put on hold, is not enforceable in India, and therefore both Reliance and Future Retail will be continuing with the proposed transaction without inordinate delay. I've spoken to sources in the Amazon camps. Now, let me get to their side of the story. First of all, they're saying that this entire notion that the interim ruling of the SIAC, that's what it's called, SIAC in Singapore, the body that kind of decides all the conducts all the arbitrations, etc., that it's a fallacy, that its orders are not enforceable in India, that its proceedings are not enforceable in India. In fact, my sources in Amazon say that the only redressal for disputes, the only dispute redressal mechanism that existed in the contract between Amazon and Future was an arbitration in Singapore. And therefore, Amazon saying it's stuck to the contract, and that's why you saw an emergency hearing, and that's why they invoked arbitration in the first place in Singapore. Then they go on, my sources go on to say that if you see a situation that part of the contract decides to not agree with the ruling, says it's not enforceable, what is it going to mean for India's image as an FDI destination? Because overseas arbitration is a common feature in contracts for dispute resolution. So, raising that entire issue and the various precedents that you've seen, the most common one that, of course, is cited is Daiichi and Ranbaxy, how that had also then gone to the Indian courts and had to be enforced, and the overseas arbitration order had to be respected. It's a different matter, of course, that the former Ranbaxy promoters then said they don't have the money to pay up. So having said that, that's the Amazon side of the story. What I also found interesting is sources telling me that this interim ruling is 124 pages long and it's valid for 90 days. Also, the entire process has not been exhausted. So it's not just because, you have an interim ruling which has proposed that this transaction be put on hold. That's between Future and Reliance. It has not exhausted the entire process. This ruling was valid for 90 days. And it had also suggested that an arbitration tribunal be set up, an arbitration tribunal to expeditiously try and resolve the matter. So that's Amazon's side of the story. And, they've always been also saying that this entire transaction has been done to, it's in the interest of the promoters of Future. It doesn't take care of the shareholders because all assets are being transferred out of Future Retail to a new entity, Future Enterprise, which is then what our Reliance is buying, and therefore it's anti-shareholder. So as you can see, it's been a busy Monday tracking all of these developments. The interim ruling, of course, in place for 90 days. Who's going to make the next strike? Is it going to be Amazon who will go back to Singapore? Will they try and enforce it in the Indian courts? Will we see legal action also from the other camp, that's Future and Reliance? All options very much on the table still.